What's going on, everybody? The Arid Lord is here. This is a Comic-Con wrap-up video for The Walking Dead. I'm trying to avoid copyright issues and stuff of that nature, so I didn't react to any of the trailers that came out. There was a teaser trailer for the Rick and Michonne show and the Daryl Dixon spinoff show as well. The Daryl Dixon one was like a full-length feature trailer, and the Rick and Michonne one was just a small teaser. I'm going to be going over both of those. Those were the primary pieces of information. Dead City was confirmed for a second season, but we already knew that. At the time that I'm recording this, I actually have not made my review to the season 1 finale of Dead City, so I'll be making that right after this video. But I'll be uploading them at different times. So, yeah, the news from Comic-Con, the trailer for the Daryl Dixon show was very interesting. It was well done. I saw a lot of people in the comments section saying, like, wow, like, I haven't watched The Walking Dead in a long time, and this actually looks pretty damn good. So, it shows Daryl on, like, a shipping container, and then that blows up, and then he gets, like, marooned on, like, a rowboat, which is that really weird teaser where he's on the rowboat in the middle of the fucking ocean, and people are like, how the hell does this make any sense? So he washes up in France, and so there's a sequence where he's on a radio, when he's talking, and it's funny how he identifies himself. He doesn't say that he's from Alexandria. He says that he comes from a place called the Commonwealth. So now they're kind of establishing the Commonwealth as, like, their main home. I mean, granted, where we left in the main show, Ezekiel and Mercer are tag teaming, running the Commonwealth with Pamela Milton in jail. So that's, I mean, their people are now fully in command of all Commonwealth happenings, and the general army of the Commonwealth and all of the great surplus that they had. They take full advantage of that. And I mean, we saw in Dead City that there's like a new hilltop that, like, Maggie and Herschel were staying at. I'm fairly certain that they didn't do that for plot reasons, and it was more because they can't go back to the hilltop because I think they've already gotten rid of that set, so they can't, like, film there again. So, like, the possibilities of seeing Alexandria and the hilltop in either, like, the Rick show and the Daryl Dixon one, the chances of that happening are slim to none. So just, those were exclusive to the main show. And again, like, it's for budgetary reasons and contracts, but at the same time, it is kind of frustrating because it's like a continuity thing, right? It's the same thing that I've been saying in Dead City. It's like you've got this new Babylon society, and then you've got all of the freaking, the crazy woman that we see at the end of the season 1 finale that's controlling New York City with the Croat. And what I'm thinking to myself is, we've established in World Beyond that the CRM is the most imposing force in the entire United States. And, like, their armies could crush anything that New Babylon and the Croat combined could do. We saw them take out that Oklahoma colony just, like, lickety-split, like piss through snow. Like, there's no stopping them. They're so foreboding. And that's what I'm hoping that the Rick series, and it will touch upon. And finally, all of these questions that we've had for fucking ever about the Civic Republic will hopefully be answered. And I don't know how in depth, because I always thought that was the case, that we were building to some big something that the Civic Republic was doing, and Rick was the reason that they had them, and so, I don't know. And it doesn't look like from the Daryl Dixon trailer that the CRM is part of any of that. It's a self-contained thing. And we did, if you guys saw the the World Beyond bonus scene at the end of season 2, which was really the finale of the whole series, we had the clip of this woman looking at old tapes of fucking Edwin Jenner, and she gets shot by this guy, and she turns into one of those super fast walking mutant zombies that then comes into play as one of the variants in the latter half of season 11, like the final few fucking episodes. And now, like, that was in France that we saw, like, the language as it pans out. So now Daryl's basically going to the scene of the crime. So is any of that stuff, like, one would assume that some of what they set up there, mainly with the guy that killed that woman, or what they were talking about with the project and stuff, that would relate to what's going to happen in the Daryl Dixon series. It's no chance that that scene was in France, and now that's where Daryl was going. So I'm curious what they're teasing, because, you know, having seen the full first season of Dead City, it's really just like a contained kind of set of bottle episodes, like for Negan and Maggie. They're not telling some greater universe story of, experimentation or anything that the CRM is doing. Something expansive that's going to connect. Like, it's just almost like the Tales of the Walking Dead. It's just a self-contained story that tells a story, and that's it. And that's why I'm kind of concerned with, the length, the 6 episodes that we have for the Rick and Michonne series, which is Rick and Michonne, The Ones Who Live. That's the official title of the series. I did kind of like Summit. I don't know if you guys saw all of, like, the fan art for, like, Walking Dead Summit and some of the names that people were coming up with. I like that better for, like, a Rick and Michonne series. But yeah, that's kind of my concern. Like, I see the Daryl series being just like the Dead City one, where it's good quality, but it's just contained to this bottle story that doesn't tell something expansive. And the Rick story is the one that has the capacity to tell the most expansive one, because he is our main guy, was taken from us very long time ago, and it deals with the most powerful group that's been built up and teased for years upon years upon years. And now, finally, after all this fucking waiting, we're hopefully going to get some payoff. And it's just, those were the two big things. I said at the beginning of the vlog for the Comic-Con footage was the full Daryl trailer, which looks interesting on its own, and I'm sure it will be an interesting story, but, like, what I'm noticing, and I think that's maybe the other purpose of this vlog, like, the first purpose was to talk about the Comic-Con news, but then also talk about, like, a trend I'm seeing with The Walking Dead right now, which is these mini-series are just kind of becoming self-contained episodes. And I'm just wondering, like, post-2024, like, what do you have for The Walking Dead? Because this Rick and Michonne, that'll air in 2024. They did reveal that. They didn't say when, but finally we have a fucking 6 years. 6 years after he was taken in that episode in season 9. 6 years, we're going to get the follow-up to what happened to Rick. Finally. I mean, I've been making so many damn fucking prediction vlogs on the channel about it for years. And finally, we're going to get a fucking answer. And then the Daryl show comes out this fall. So the usual fall time slot for Walking Dead will be consumed with the Daryl show as if he never left, as if it's a season 12. But I don't know. I just feel like the show is missing out by not having a true 12th season, a true, like, whatever beyond, because these stories, again, they're good. Like, Dead City, like, I'll make a separate vlog for that, but Dead City was enjoyable. It was good. I mean, but it was just self-contained. Like, there was no connections to other characters. There was just, it was as if Manhattan was not only on an island, but on in a planet in a different fucking galaxy than anything else going on in the Walking Dead universe. And that's how I've told you guys, like, the biggest gripe that I had with season 11, and how I feel like they kind of rushed it with how they had to get everything, they needed to set up the spinoff series, and they needed to close things out, was that we never got any confirmation or crossover between the Commonwealth and the CRM. There's no way in a fucking hell's hands basket that these two super civilizations didn't fucking know about each other. There's just no way possible. And like the CRM has bases all across the fucking United States. Okay, World Beyond painted a picture of just how powerful they are. The first freaking episode when they take out that Oklahoma colony, it's like, okay, they took out a colony of hundreds of thousands of people or whatever that population was. Like, these people mean fucking business. And then we know that they have the Portland, and they've got, you know, an army. They've been in Fear the Walking Dead. They had the trades that they were doing with Jadis in the original Walking Dead when we saw the Junkyard Group. That was their whole thing. Like, they were living in the squalor of the junkyard, but they were trading people for resources, and that's how they were keeping themselves sustained. And that's how they wrote Heath off, because his actor just fucking left the show, and they're like, oh yeah, he gets taken by Jadis and traded. So is he possibly in this fucking series? Who knows? Probably not. But you know, that's just kind of my gripe right now. Like, sure, these are quality shows, but I'm just concerned that like we were almost made a promise in a way by Mr. Scott Gimple about learning about, like, it's just that seemed to be the next big thing. It's like, okay, you've wrapped up the comic books, you've told all of the stories, like in this image right here that you guys see. This is like all of the stories. That's not me. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can move this. Yeah. Like this. This is everything. Commonwealth down here. You got Glenn, Ezekiel, and I mean, you know, Negan. Like, this is, you know, the Whispers. Like this, you know, and then you got the CRM helicopters up there. I mean, this is like the universe of The Walking Dead. I'm trying to make this the size it was before. You know, it's an expansive story, and the helicopters right there, which were sort of technically teased in the very first episode, the pilot episode, where Rick sees it in Atlanta, that leads him into the giant horde in the street. Like, that was that was your, you know, like, you've been building something, and, you know, that's the tease. It's like, oh, well, there's this bigger group that's got plans, and they're doing something. Like, what? There's so much intrigue behind it, and we've been left waiting for years. And so I've thought, like, all these different things over the years, like some of the episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. I watched World Beyond, not because of the stupid kids that were in it, but because it dealt with this group. Because there were Easter eggs and references to Rick. Jadis was the primary villain in season 2 and pretty much saved that season. So, I don't know. I've said this in vlogs before, but you know, I hope that they're able to. It's really going to come to a head with the Rick series, because I'm pretty sure the Daryl series is going to just follow in the footsteps of the Dead City, where it's just Daryl in a self-contained mission. Apparently, Carol's going to be in it. I saw like Jeffrey Dean Morgan and some people saying like that Melissa McBride was actually in it, so. I don't know. I didn't see her in the trailer, so maybe they're just keeping it secret. Because if you guys remember, it was originally supposed to be Daryl and Carol. Like, it was supposed to. They were the other pair. It was 3 pairs: Rick and Michonne, Daryl and Carol, and Negan and Maggie. Like, they were. That was the 3 spin-offs with those dual characters. But then Melissa McBride backed out. Daryl jumped in, but then it seems like she didn't back out, but she has like some part in it. It's kind of vague. But I think what they do want to go for with this, and what I will say, is they want to make it different. And I did get that sense from the Daryl trailer, like this. He's in like a church. Like, there's these missionaries, and like it's kind of almost like, I saw some people saying it's kind of like Last of Us, like, because there's this girl that he has to like escort somewhere, and there are people that are after him. So you're gonna kind of get like Last of Us vibes. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, copying the formula of that show. I mean, The Walking Dead's been around a lot longer than The Last of Us, even before the video game came out. I think it looks good. Like, I saw the trailer and it was intriguing. Like, if you could have seen, if I did do a reaction to it, like, I was genuinely interested by the Daryl trailer. And it's not like I had to see CRM crap to kind of be like, oh wow. But you know what, like, the mega fans want. The mega fans, it's like, if Rick and Daryl, are they going to have a reunion? Would Rick and Negan ever have a reunion? That'd be fucking crazy. You know, Judith, does she ever get to see Rick again? Like, is this, like, I've wanted that happy ending for those characters, and, like, for me, like, The Walking Dead will always linger until that's completed, but I just don't know if there's, like, a bigger plan for The Walking Dead. Like, are they just doing these miniseries and just like, okay, we told 3 self-contained stories. You know, Dead City's getting a second season. Maybe Daryl's thing gets a second season. It seems like the Rick one is just the fucking 6 episodes, which I really don't know why or how. Like, of all the ones that people wanted to continue further, that's the one they wanted to continue further, and you limited it to 6 episodes. So I don't know what the master plan is, because again, Gimple is now like the universe creator, so it's like, you know, what is he thinking here? Because also, Fear the Walking Dead ends this fall. I mean, I don't really care about anything that's going on there, but it does wrap up. That's it. Just like The Walking Dead the year before. That's it. So you're going to start, like, slowly but surely wrapping up all of your Walking Dead products, and, you know, before long, like, it will be completely done. And you need that larger universe factor to keep people engaged, and I always thought that the build-up to what the Civic Republic was doing was kind of the draw there. But you know, I'll be in for the ride, because I want to see how this all plays out, and that's why I've, you know, kind of kept along with it. But I definitely do kind of have some questions about the universe direction, and again, I've said this in past vlogs. So I'm not saying anything completely new, but, you know, as I get more and more concrete information about the shows, and now that I've seen one of the shows, I still have these questions. You know, I had the questions before, now I still have the questions. So I want the questions to be answered, essentially what I'm saying. So, but I mean, it was good. I mean, The Walking Dead had a lot of stuff at Comic-Con for not being on the freaking air for the first time. They're not previewing a new season. They had a lot to share. They did. So it was cool. And the fact that we are finally getting Rick back next year is a cool fucking thing. I've been waiting for this forever, as have a lot of people. So, you know, I am excited. I am. I just hope they pull it off. And they've had more than enough time. If you guys remember, these Rick things, they were supposed to be freaking movies, and then they were working on them throughout COVID, and they, you know, and everyone would ask, and like, we're working on it, we're working on it, we're working on it, and so they've been working and working on it, so they have had more than enough time to make this solid. I sure hope that they do. So, anyway, that's my review. Let me know what you guys think. I guess my next vlog will just be talking about the conclusion of Dead City and some of the thoughts that I had there. I did talk a little bit about it here, but other than that, not too much else, because, I mean, the next content that I'll really be covering is the Daryl stuff. I've made a few vlogs here and there for, like, I bought the Danny Phantom graphic novel. I covered some other stuff, like the co-president of Naughty Dog leaving the company. Whenever there are little video game entertainment industry things that I want to cover, I'll do it. Yeah, that's just kind of how I'm taking the flow of the channel. You know, like, I don't hold myself to any kind of schedule or anything. And, you know, because I've got other endeavors and projects. You know, I'm taking, you know, my writing more seriously than I did in years past. When I'm ready to brand myself on that, I will. I'm not so sure, again, like, if I want to include it on the channel here, because this channel is just, it served a different purpose. I want my fans here to know about the writing stuff with my books that I do. But that'll be a discussion for another vlog. Don't want to get into it here. So, all right. Anyway, thank you guys, and I will see you later for another vlog. Peace out.